Welcome back to the 2023 radio. So, yeah, I've got two gentlemen joining us here. Dr. Lawrence Bayode is the Deputy Director ICT for INEC. Sitting beside him is Victor Aluko, Director of Voter Education and Publicity for INEC. Gentlemen, good morning. Thank you for coming on today.
Good morning. Thanks for having us. Good morning, Mark.
All right, so here's the thing. Now, if you've got questions about the BVAS, whatever you want to know about election day scenario, this is your chance to ask because they are here to provide answers for you. So let's start off with an election day scenario. But before getting to election day scenario, what kind of preparation is going to happen perhaps the day before or the day of elections for INEC officials who will be going out on election day with this equipment?
Thank you, Chamberlain. As we speak, we are currently configuring the machines, and on the eve of the election, these machines will also be confirmed to be ready for the election by those that will be deployed as RATEX. RATEX, those that will be supporting the device on the field. So each RATEC that is manning a registration area will check all the devices that will be deployed in that registration area, whether they are fit or whether they are ready for the election. So this will be done on the eve of the election. And also the registration area support staff will also do a refresher training for those that have been trained as users to operate these machines on the election day.
Okay, so in the meantime, we are now INEC what are we? RATEC officials? are we polling units personified now because we're holding the BVAS?
I don't know. I'm so excited to have this device in my hand, the almighty BVAS. I want to ask you. I mean, I know that the BVAS is for the INEC officials, for those who are going to be the representatives of INEC at the polling unit on that particular day. But let me ask you, for the voters, I know that INEC also had an extension for PVC collection. It's over now, is it?
It's over.
So if you do not have your PVC now, there is no way you can get it again?
No, you cannot get it again for now. After the general election, there will be opportunity for you to still collect your PVC. But for the purpose of the general election, we have closed that window for now. But it's not closed forever. It's just for the election. After the general election, you can still walk into the INEC office and collect your PVC.
But concerning the PVC, this is just as an aside. If perhaps in the future, because as it is today, this is just, do we really need the PVC beyond what the law stipulates for us to go out there and vote in the future? Will I be able to, for instance, if I forget my PVC and I dash to the polling unit, if the law were to change, can I still vote?
Now?
No, not now.
After now.
After now.
Yeah, if the law is changed and the law is saying that you need not bring any identity to the polling station for you to be identified aside your VIN, then you can come to the polling station and tell the presiding officer your VIN, and with your VIN, they're able to pull up your information from these.
But that is only if the law is changed.
If the law is changed.
Okay.
For now, you have to take your PVC to the voting station or the polling unit for you to be allowed to vote. Yes.
Let me ask Mr. Aluko, I know you want to add something to that. I hope you don't forget your thoughts. But I want to know on the election day, I mean, for those who maybe not on election day, but for those who can prove that they were at their polling unit several times to collect their PVC, but for one reason or the other were unable to, owing to no fault of theirs. They registered on time, they went to go and collect their PVC, but it was not printed or it was not ready, or for no fault of theirs, they simply couldn't get a hold of their PVC. If they're able to present their case, is there still a window through which they can get these PVCs?
Let me make it clear that there's hardly anyone who registered the right way and did not and came to our collection centers and was not able to collect his PVC. The problem we had were those who registered before, who needed to transfer,
yes,
who now went and registered again. You know, there are persons who did that. There were those who lost their cards, who felt it was more convenient to register again. Or there were those whose cards were even spoiled, who felt it was easier to just register again. You know, the human soul is a mystery. No matter what you tell people, you still find some that would deviate from that path. So all those persons, we didn't print new cards for them because they were already in our database as voters. And we assumed they already had those cards. And so we printed cards for all those who registered afresh and were really eligible to register afresh. We printed their cards. All those who transferred the right way, we printed cards for them. We printed like 13.8 million cards for all these people. There's nobody who actually followed the rules the way they should follow them, and we did not print cards for. And if there's anyone we did not print cards for, I'll be surprised.
No, but it's not just about printing cards, because I do know that in some instances, these cards were in different locations. I think it was somebody who gave an instance that, oh, it was not in that polling unit, maybe it was in the next polling unit. So in some instances, there were mix-ups. So if the person is able to prove beyond reasonable doubt, I transferred the right way, I did everything that was legal according to the rules. I went as stipulated by INEC to pick up my card from where I thought the transfer should have happened. And for one reason or another, I was unable to pick up his or her card owing to no fault of theirs. Will the Commission be willing to look into those exceptions if they're able to prove that they're truly an exception?
Well, it's not an easy thing to start listening to all those on election day.
No, not on election day, certainly not. Before the election.
Before the election. That would be a policy matter, which I cannot just give you a decision now. But one thing I know is we've announced that the collection closed on Sunday, and that we are now focusing on conducting the election. If there are such persons and they make their cases known, it's for the Commission to take a decision.
All right, so gentlemen, as a self-acclaimed RATEC official, I'm just kidding. So tell us, what do we expect on election day? So just put us through that process from the start, when the officials are about to start, when the voter is before the officials. What do they expect to happen?
The Commission will be deploying 3 or 4 polls officials. We have the presiding officer, we have the assistant presiding officer 1, 2, and 3. The assistant presiding officer 3, who is like the queue controller, will ensure that those that will be standing on the queue, or those that will be on the queue, will be those who came with their permanent voters card. So you will not be allowed to stand on the queue without your PVC. And what the queue controller does is to ensure that you have your PVC and you're allowed to be on the queue. It checks if that PVC is actually yours. Looked at the picture on the PVC, looked at your face. The APU3 confirmed that the PVC is yours, then you're allowed to be on the queue. Then from there on, you march on to have a contact with the APU1 who uses this machine to accredit you. Accreditation is by authenticating your fingerprint or your facial.
Okay. So for this Channel CV PU now, could you start the demonstration?
Okay. Now the APU1 uses this to
Yeah, go ahead.
That's it.
Okay.
Okay. Now this is the dashboard for. I've logged into the system as the APO1. Now a voter is right there before me. I go in to the election, and for this, before now, the presiding officer has shown those who are on the queue to cast their vote. He let them know that the total number of these, total number of registered voters in this polling unit is 18, which we can see. Yeah. And he also let them know that this before the commencement of vote, the accredited voters is 0, and this must always be 0 at the commencement of vote. Okay. It must be 0. Now, you can use the last name of the voter, or the last 6 digits of the VIN, or the QR code which is on the register, or the barcode which is on the back of the PVC, to pull up the information of any voter that is before you.
The number of options are available.
Yes, the number of options. So you can use the last name, you can use the last digit of the VIN, which is on the PVC. You can use the barcode at the back of the PVC. You can also use the QR code on the register.
But which one would you recommend the most? Because some people will say voter last name. It might pull up if maybe like 4 members of the same family are on the same queue.
Yes, you can. I would recommend the last 6 digits of the VIN, because that is unique.
Okay.
Yeah, because that is your unique number. The VIN is a unique number that identifies any voter on our database. So the last digit of that VIN pulls you alone from the database that is on this device. So I want to pull up a voter now. I can also see all the voters on these. These are all the voters here, and let me pull up Atakeme. Atakeme is before me now with his PVC, and he has been allowed to stay on the queue. I need to come back here to pull him up as a voter. Now, I've used his last name to pull him up. This is Atakeme. And so now, I can see his face now, even though he has been identified earlier by the Assistant Presiding Officer 3. Now I can see his face. I looked at his face. Now, this is Atakeme standing before me. Now, I'm now ready to authenticate him, whether using his facial or using his fingerprint. And to do that, I click on this verify button, and we have the window now to do the accreditation. Now, if I want to use the fingerprint, I click on the verify fingerprint, and I now ask Atakeme to put his finger on the scanner on the device. On the
BVAS?
On the BVAS.
Okay.
Now, the scanner is here, and it's failing now because I'm not Atakeme.
I see.
Atakeme is not in the studio.
Yes, Atakeme is. Maybe I'm here to impersonate. Yes, I'm here to impersonate Atakeme, so it will not allow me. That is the way the system is designed. Okay. And if we want to do a voter who is a rightful owner of a device, let me call up another voter. This is this voter. It's Biode, and this is him here. And now I want to verify this voter. I can, like I said, I can use the facial or the fingerprint. So
it's an or as well. It is either the facial or the fingerprint.
Yes.
But which one would you go for first?
And the commissioner approved that you do the fingerprint first.
Okay.
Yes. So I do this. Fails. I do this again.
Successful.
This is successful. Now it is successful because this is me. This is me.
But why did it fail the first time?
Yeah, maybe it can happen to anybody. Maybe I wasn't placing and I did it deliberately. Maybe I wasn't placing my finger right. Some people on the field, we have seen a lot of people, when you ask them to put their finger, the hand is, they just as if they don't want to release their hand to you. So the hand is stiff, putting the finger down the hair. Some of them are fidgeting, but the finger must be rightly placed on the scanner.
Okay.
If you are not placing your finger rightly on the scanner, the authentication of your fingerprint will not pass. Even if it is you, as long as your fingerprint is not well placed on the scanner, your fingerprint authentication could fail. So now this is done. You go back and you can now see that the accredited voters has increased from 0 to 1.
Okay.
So this is what will happen from beginning to the end. And at the end of poll, these accredited voters is pushed to our back end. And now what the commission has also done is that this system, the back end, is for the commission to see what is happening on the field. But what we'll be doing in the general election is to push the data to the high ref. So apart from seeing the picture of the from EC8 result on the high rep, you also be seeing the total number of accredited voters. So apart from the one that will be recorded on the form, you also see this on the high rep.
So this back end, INEC will be seeing it in the office.
Yes.
And then for the IREV, they will see it.
They will also see
this. Is it simultaneous or depends on the network?
As soon as a result is pushed to the high ref, it pulls this information from the back end.
Okay. So what is the scenario about uploading of results? How does it play out here?
Yeah, we're also going to use the same results to upload, sorry, this same device to upload the result. So after the poll is over and the ballot is sorted and counted and recorded on the Form EC8A, and it's endorsed by the presiding officer, endorsed by all the all the party agents available on that day. Then what the presiding officer will do is to take the picture of that form, of that result sheet, Form EC8A, with this camera.
Okay.
With this camera.
So there's a camera on the back of the device.
That is a camera that you can also put on the voter's face.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. So you use this camera to take the photo of the voter. You also use this camera to take the picture of the result.
I notice it also has a front camera.
Yes, the front camera is for operators because on the machine, because this is a demo platform, that is the reason why I didn't take my picture before I was allowed to log in.
Okay.
Now, on the live application will not allow you to log in until you snap yourself. And this is for us to...
That's the official, INEC official?
Yes, INEC official.
So you snap yourself and your picture will be on this device?
The machine.
So you know who
uses this
So will it upload to the back end too?
Yes.
Oh. So the officials too can run, but they can't hide?
They can't hide,
in case they do anything untoward. Okay. So all of those results will then be uploaded?
Uploaded, yeah.
But I said that you also have several apps on the device.
Yes.
There's a call, there's music, playlists. What's going on?
Yeah, by the time you try to use all this, they are already, you can only see they're already deactivated.
Oh,
you can't use them.
Because the only thing that will be playlist right away. No. I want to know what kind of music do INEC officials listen to.
The only app that will be running on that day is the accreditation app and the result upload app. Because there's also apart from the app for the accreditation, we also have the app that will be used to upload the result. Because the system is designed in such that when there is no network in a particular location, you operate the app is resident on the system. You operate the app, you snap the result, you push it. As you move from that location maybe on your way to the collation center, wherever there is network, the result is pushed to the back end.
Quite a lot of information, I mean, for officials to be able to absorb at once. It looks pretty simple and pretty straightforward, but, you know, individuals must be enlightened to some extent about the use of simple devices, perhaps a tab or a telephone. I want to know how many ad hoc officials has INEC put through training already? Do you have an idea?
Okay, sir.
Okay. Already we will have 4 officials in each polling unit. Now we have 176,846 polling units. So you can imagine that's 176,846 times 4.
Times 4 officials.
Nationwide.
Wow.
That will be at the polling units. Apart from that, as you said, we also have the RATEX, the technical people who will be in each registration area. You know, INEC will call wards registration areas, but the public calls them wards.
Okay.
And so we can also, there are 8,809 wards in the country.
Okay, pardon me, Mr. Aluko. 8,809
wards.
So we'll just take a break and then continue from that point when we return in just a moment. Stay with us. Welcome back to the 2023 verdict. We're having a demonstration, a practical demonstration on election day scenario with the BVAS machine and then the voter, what they will experience on the day. But Mr. Luko, you were talking about the 8,809 scenario, so please go ahead.
We're actually looking at the figures. We're actually looking at the figures, the huge number of persons who will be operating the BVAS equipment. So we're talking about almost 750,000 persons nationwide, because we have four officials per polling unit, and we have 176,846 polling units. And of course, we have one RATEC per ward.
176,846. 846, okay. I have to cram that number.
Units in the country. And of course, one RATEC, that is a technical support person.
Yes.
One per ward. That is, he services a ward, and we have 8,809. So by the time you add all these figures together, and of course, some technical supervisors like Bayode, the engineers who will also be on the field, we have not less than 750,000 persons, young people who are knowledgeable the use of BVAS, who will provide the necessary technical activity on the field that day.
Before we take a look at some more scenarios and questions from viewers, the electorate in Lagos would like to get questions to you in our studios.
We are the polling unit officers. Electorate, please push your questions through.
Well, point of correction, guys. This is the unofficial Lagos RATEC, just so you know. Let me take this to Mr. Aluko. Still talking numbers. You were speaking about the voter cards the other time. I'm curious to know how many cards were collected in this exercise. How many cards remain uncollected? I ask that so that people might also be advised, you know, about that, because in the build-up to, during the collection of the PVCs, the polling unit that the INEC HQ that I visited, they told us that there were cards dating as far back as 2011 that were not collected, and those were the ones that people were finding in unscrupulous places all over the place. So if you can, give us those numbers. So now that the PVC collection is over, how many were collected? How many remain uncollected?
Thank you. Thanks for the allusion to the old number of cards that were not collected. Because like you said, we had an existing register that had 84 million persons, and it was not all of them that collected their PVCs, dating back to 2011. And when we put everything together, we have 93.4 million Nigerians on our voters register now. And so when we put everything together, we have a figure which will permit me to provide for you later, because the technical people, I just asked Bayode yesterday, and he assured me that they are trying to get all the figures, collate all the figures from all the states all the local government areas, and that before the end of this week, INEC will be in a position to possibly give a statement about that. So please permit us to finish the collection and then make it known to the public. But I can assure you that we have a few millions out of the 93.4 million Nigerians who actually did not collect their PVCs, dating back to 2011.
Well, thank you for that. But perhaps following up on Malquest's question the other time about those that were unable to collect their PVCs, well, you said one of those issues could be a policy issue. I'm just thinking, I mean, those that were unable to collect their PVCs for one reason or the other, some of them would be very much willing to vote on election day, but they will not be able to vote unless they have their PVCs. Is there a chance that those PVCs could be at the polling units on election day, so that those who do not have polling units could have maybe a session somewhere and say, look, let me just check if my PVC is here so that I can collect and then I'll be able to vote? Is there a chance?
This is like a proposal. It's not actually part of our business rules that will take PVCs of people to the polling units on election day, because that will cause a sort of distraction for the presiding officers. You can imagine a typical polling unit with people maybe on the queue, with polling agents, with observers, and security men. It will not be an easy thing to introduce another activity like bringing uncollected PVCs that day. What we will say now is whoever was not able to collect, whoever genuinely registered and was not able to collect, it pains us. But we are assuring them that even though they may miss this particular election, but there are future elections. Life continues. There are future elections. They will still be able to collect them in future and still vote in future. We pray that they will not die, that they will be alive to be able to vote in future.
Okay, Mr. Aluko, one more thing for you before I go to Dr. Bayode. Campaigns are on. This is the campaign season, and as we highlighted yesterday, sections 91 to 97 of the Electoral Act of 2022 is largely about campaigns, both in rallies, on media platforms, and all of that. What are some of those issues that have been received, or complaints that have been received or observed and noted by INEC that might constitute electoral offenses? And what is the plan to deal with them so they don't happen again? I ask this because while we are talking about having an electoral offenses tribunal or commission or whatever, we don't have that yet. So it's still the responsibility of INEC.
Clear, the law talks about refrain from using abusive language during campaigns. You refrain from using base language, insultive language and all that. We noticed some of these during the campaign so far. And you remember there was a time even our chairman in one of his speeches made allusions to that and warned the candidates and the political parties to keep to the law, to keep to the regulations guarding all this. And of course, even the National Broadcasting Commission itself also reached out to all the broadcast stations in the country to ensure that those who use their facilities, use their platforms to campaign, keep to the law in terms of the type of language they use. And INEC, we've drawn attention to this, and we expect the security agencies who have the power to arrest those who run foul of the law to do the needful. INEC cannot arrest anyone. All we can do is to report them to the security agencies. Before then, warn them, remind them, give them yellow cards.
Well,
and then
Mr. Aluko, this is pre-election.
Security agencies for the security to take action.
My apologies. This is pre-election, so it is a build-up to the election. And we know that INEC is also partnering with pockets of security agencies with that committee that you have. So what is the process in stemming the tide of those things that you said INEC has observed that run foul of the law concerning language, choice of words, and all those things? What's the process in making sure that those things don't happen again, or there is some form of deterrence from INEC or from the partnership that INEC has with security agencies?
Apart from that, we have the election and party monitoring duty in INEC, and we monitor all these, their campaigns, their activities, part of our work. And when we notice any form of deviance from the rules, we try to inform them. We inform them actually, and also we inform the security agencies. As you rightly noted, we are with the security agencies in our consultative committee on election security and all that, and we report to the security, especially the police. We will report to the police, and it's now for the police to take action as they deem fit.
Let's pick back here.
All right,
I want to know if this device, this BVAS, which is very important to the conduct of the polls, if it is snatched, of what effect would that be to any polling unit?
If a BVAS is snatched, we have a system in place that can deactivate that particular BVAS. We deactivate it so that whoever snatches the device will not be able to do anything with the device. And because the device pushes accreditation data automatically on its own, even without the operator pushing a button, when it is idle, it pushes that accreditation data to the back end.
Oh,
we can, yes, we can, yes, we can.
Isn't that going to be a problem? Because if they consider that as data that is idle being pushed, wouldn't it come out as though those are votes or something?
No, it won't come out. It's just pushing. And for example, if 50 persons already accredited on a device, and the device is idle, is waiting for more voters to come, because the device is idle, and if there is network in that particular location, it pushes those 50 already accredited voters to the back end.
So what if it's still idle for the next 20 minutes? What does
nothing happens. It's already pushed.
So in a situation, and we hope that this kind of situation never arises, we hope that every single polling unit will have, sufficient security presence. But in a situation whereby maybe for any reason there isn't sufficient security presence, and hoodlums perhaps snatch a device from a polling unit officer and decide that they take over the accreditation process. Is it a possibility?
That's what I said earlier. They can't take over the accreditation process because the way the system is designed, you can't. If you want to take over the accreditation process, it means that you want to be accrediting people there, or you want to assist the INEC officials.
Yes.
Why would you want to do that? I don't think any law will want to do that. But what they want to do is to take away that device to some other places where they think they will be able to do or manipulate the data on the device. But this, like I said, this machine has been designed. If such thing happens, the PO reports, and from the back end, that device is deactivated, so that the person who carried away with that device will not be able to do anything with the device.
What if the PO is not able to report immediately?
The PO is not able to
report immediately.
Yes, because there's no network.
Or maybe he's hamstrung or something.
Even at that, the person who took away the device will not be able to do anything with the device. You'll not be able to do anything with the device. Yes.
All right, let me quickly take this question from Ugu Raymond, and he's talking about non-availability of PVC. This one is for you, Mr. Aluko. He says, I've been a regular voter in the past. However, I applied to transfer my polling booth close to my house. We are many that went there daily to the INEC LGA office at Obiakpo in Rivers State to collect the PVC without success. We're continually told that the PVCs have not been delivered to them from INEC headquarters. Now that the exercise has ended and we don't have PVC, what is our fate? Since INEC had confirmed to us that our applications were successful, can one go to the new polling booth with the old PVC to cast our vote, since our names ought to be in the voter register there? We have been told repeatedly that nobody will be denied the opportunity to vote.
Well, he's talking about Obiakpo in Rivers.
Yes.
So I'll take that information with me. and we'll try and consult.
But he has his old PVC. Can he go to where he hopes to transfer
If he has his old PVC,
yes,
he can only use that PVC where he registered before. Because the mere fact that he got a message from INEC that the application was successful, did not really mean that when the application was now processed, they did not find out whether it was whether he registered before and whether, I mean, you know what I mean? There's something there which we need to find out, which we need to really to be sure of before one gives an answer. But for Obiakpo in Rivers, we will be consulting with the voter registry and, of course, the department. That's BVAS department. We'll get back. We'll take this to our office. If there are people like that, then actually something needs to be done so that they will be able to vote in future.
All right. So there's a backup in case this device fails.
Yes.
INEC has backup for those who are asking for the backups.
Yes.
But if we were to amend the laws for electronic voting, will this device still be valid?
Very well.
Okay. All right, gentlemen, we'll have to thank you. Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. This device is not an electronic voting machine. It's just an accreditation machine. So in the future, if we want to deploy electronic voting machine, it's just to let this device continue what it's doing now, connect to the machine, whether via a cable or via any means, and you finish your accreditation on this machine. The voting machine is activated. This machine pushes information to the voting machine. It activates that where you just go and vote.
Okay, I'm not going to ask if you can be hacked or anything, so don't give ideas, but we'll have to go at this point. We'll have to thank you, Mr. Victor Lugo, Director of Voter Education and Publicity for INEC, as well as Dr. Lawrence Bayode, who is the Deputy Director ICT for INEC. Thank you, gentlemen, for coming on.
So
all the best.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, ma'am.